My name is Anna Matthews, and for as long as I can remember, I've been the kind of person who plays it safe. I grew up in Boston, in a family where rules were the backbone of everything. My parents believed in stability, predictability, and order. I learned early on that success meant following the right steps. Good grades, a respectable job, a neat little apartment, and no unnecessary risks. And I followed those steps exactly. By 28, I had a solid career as a financial analyst, a reliable car, and a small but tidy apartment overlooking the Charles River. My friends often teased me for being the responsible one. The one who always double-checked plans, always carried an umbrella, and never missed a deadline. I laughed along with them, but inside I wondered, was this all there was? Because sometimes, when the city lights reflected off the river at night, and I sat with my spreadsheets and careful plans, I felt a tug inside me, a quiet voice that whispered, "There's more." But I ignored it. That was easier. That was safer. It all started with an email. A colleague of mine, Daniel, was organizing a weekend trip with friends to the White Mountains in New Hampshire. Hiking, campfires, maybe even a bit of spontaneous adventure. When he invited me, I almost said no immediately. I wasn't the outdoorsy type. I didn't even own proper hiking boots. But something in his casual smile when he asked, "Come on, Anna, it'll be fun," made me pause. That night, I stared at the invitation sitting in my inbox. My logical brain listed a dozen reasons not to go. Too much work, too little time, not my thing. But the voice inside me whispered again. What if you just said yes? I couldn't resist replying with one simple word. Sure. The trip was chaos from the start. Our group piled into 2 cars, backpacks stuffed haphazardly, snacks scattered across the seats. Everyone laughed and sang along to songs on the radio. I sat stiffly at first, clutching my bag, silently panicking about the lack of structure. But as the city faded into countryside, something inside me shifted. The air felt cleaner. The sky stretched wider. The laughter around me was contagious. By the time we reached the cabin near the trailhead, I was smiling more than I had in weeks. The next morning, we set off on the trail. I won't lie, it was hard. The incline burned my legs, the rocks made me stumble, and at one point, I considered turning back. But Daniel slowed down to walk beside me, encouraging me with a grin. "You're stronger than you think," he said. And strangely, I believed him. Step by step, breath by breath, I pushed myself further than I thought I could. When we finally reached the summit, I gasped. The view stretched endlessly, rolling mountains, forests painted in autumn colors, the sky glowing gold with the afternoon sun. I felt small but in the best way possible. And I thought this is what I've been missing. That night, we sat around a crackling fire, roasting marshmallows, trading stories, and laughing until our stomachs hurt. Someone passed around a guitar, and Daniel strummed a few chords, singing off-key but with so much joy that it made us all join in. I leaned back, staring at the stars, so many more than you could ever see in Boston. And for the first time in years, I felt free. No schedules. No spreadsheets. No rules. Just life, raw and beautiful. I whispered to myself, I could get used to this. The next morning, we stumbled upon a lake at the bottom of the trail. The water was icy, the surface shimmering in the early sunlight. "Let's jump in," someone shouted. My instinct was to protest. Too cold. Too risky. Not me. But then I saw everyone else laughing, running toward the water. Daniel caught my eye and said, "Come on, Anna. Don't think. Just do it." And something in me snapped. I kicked off my shoes and ran. The water was freezing, shocking, wild, and I laughed so hard I couldn't stop. In that moment, drenched and breathless, I realized I couldn't resist myself anymore. Maybe I never wanted to. Back in Boston, my apartment felt different. The spreadsheets were still there, the order still intact, but I wasn't the same. The trip had lit something inside me. I started saying yes more. To dinners with friends, to spontaneous road trips, even to signing up for a painting class I'd always secretly wanted to try. Each small yes chipped away at the walls I'd built around myself. One evening, I met Daniel for coffee. "You've changed," he said, studying me with a smile. "Is that a bad thing?" I teased. "No," he said softly. "It's good. You're lighter. happier. And he was right. Because I'd stopped resisting. I'd let myself want things, feel things, try things, even if they scared me. It wasn't always easy. There were moments I slipped back into old habits, choosing comfort over courage, safety over risk. But then I remembered the mountain, the lake, the laughter by the fire. And I pushed forward. Fear didn't disappear. I just learned to carry it with me, instead of letting it hold me back. It's been a year since that trip. I've traveled to 3 new cities, started painting regularly, and even performed in a small community art show. I'm still working as an analyst, but now I balance it with the things that make me feel alive. And every time I hesitate, every time I think about saying no, I remind myself of that freezing lake, that wild laughter. I remind myself that resisting isn't always strength. Sometimes surrendering is. Looking back, I realize the title of my story was never about someone else. It was about me. I couldn't resist myself. The real me, the one buried under fear and rules and comfort zones. And maybe deep down I never wanted to. Because once I let her out, once I let myself live, I found a life richer, fuller, and more beautiful than I ever imagined.